Hi everyone. So this is us a photo. I'm live here. So this is the first time where it was possible to drive just between. It's so sad, Richard. Right? Hi Zach. Hi. Good to see you. So I'm just a few miles north of our house. In the Okanagan, the road on the west side has been reopened, and I just wanted to show you what it's like after wildfire. It's incredible. Thank you, Mark. It's perfectly good picture. Hi, Kim. Yes, it is sad. And I'm also here to really also look not only at the human, the human tragedy, but also to take a look at what happened to the wildlife. So I'm just going to walk up a bit and show you some scenes. What you're about to see is unfortunately not something very nice. It's not the usual things that I show, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is reality, right? So I'm just going to go and show you. So what happened is the fire came from right up the hill there. Isn't it awful? Yes, and it's burnt down some properties, as you can see here, right? Completely shattered, right? There's nothing left. You can just see the gas tanks left there. That's about it. And it came down here to what we call Killiney Beach. You can see it's a beautiful area actually here. Hi there. Hi, everyone. And yeah, it sort of came down in a very sort of narrow sleeve or finger right down the mountain. You can see that, right? If you look up, it's only that bit where the fire came. And over there, for example, where the houses are, a little bit further, you can see there is absolutely no destruction whatsoever, right? So it was incredibly selective according to the wind. Here you can still see the structure of a house, right? And it's completely burnt down. And the same down there. There you can see that, right? And the property maybe 50 yards further down are completely untouched. Hi, James. Yeah, it's like a tornado. You can see also those houses down there, not affected at all. And then there is just in front of that car. I'm sure you can see that sort of silver car. There's someone there looking into the remains of the um, of the rubble. I don't want to go down there because it's bad enough for the people as it is, right? I'm just going to walk here so you get an idea what it looks like. Isn't it sad? Yes. Yes, Ivani, it's like, was there a long drought? No, it was the high temperatures and the low humidity, right? The extremely low humidity did it. And you can see how high the temperatures were here when the fire occurred. Yesterday, by the way, I saw a bear running next to the roadside here, and later I want to look at the osprey nests and take a look there and see. Now, I won't go down there because it's also a bit dangerous. One shouldn't do that anyway. But you can see some people. I don't know if you can see that, but they are, um, well, they're looking at the remains there. Yeah. It does make, we are very blessed, right? We're extremely blessed. We're very fortunate. We live a few miles down south from here, and there you can still see the air conditions, by the way, the coolers. Um, so we were lucky. We were not affected, and it's really like a lottery where the wind blows. You know, it's um, it's exactly the way it is. When was this fire? Yeah, this fire started as what became very well known as the White Rock Lake Fire, somewhere I think around the 8th of August, if I remember, and it was about 50, 60 miles away from here. And nobody in their wildest dreams thought that it would be coming all the way from near Kamloops, where it started, in a lake, excuse me, in a lake called um, uh, a White Rock Lake, that it would come all this way, right? And the wind was just very strong. The temperatures were high, the humidity very low, and that's then what caused this. So I'm going to drive a little bit further. I'm going to look at the osprey nests now and see how they are. Yes, it is horrible, isn't it, Trisha? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, just last month. It's very new. How did this happen? I don't know. I just know that about 50% of all fires are man-made, and the other 50 are by other causes, natural causes, usually lightning, of course. But you can see how horrific the fire was here, right? You can look at the black ground. All I know that it went so fast that that it jumped the highway, and a lot of oh, there's another property down there. Let me see if I can just walk down there very carefully, so I can give you some views here of what it actually looks like. Whoops! Be really careful here. Really careful. Um, Goodness me, look at that. It's the ground looks a little bit unsafe here because of the. I wonder if the no, yeah, the ground is still a little bit warm here. It's still a bit warm. So I'm taking a walk over here now. That's where the fire came right down till that was the last house that was hit there. Yes, it's so sad to see. Yeah, the Lake Tahoe fire, the Calden fire is terrible. That's on south. That's in Sacramento, all the way to South Lake Tahoe, and they have strong winds. Is that water in the distance? Yes, that's correct. That's all water. That's the lucky part, by the way, here, Gentleman Ghost. You're looking directly at the water. That's completely correct, yes. That's beautiful Lake Okanagan. That's why we came here. And that's where all the ospreys go and all the eagles and so on. That's where they go fishing, right here at the waterfront. You can see there's a beautiful house just maybe 30, 40 yards more. And they weren't hit, right? Whilst this house, I'm not going to walk there. It looks a bit dangerous, but here's another property that got completely, oops, I have to be so careful when I walk here, got completely demolished, right? You can see that. It's the tree here burnt down. So the main problem we have, of course, here is that these houses are just like our house, made from wood. And I'm sure most houses in North America are made from wood, except some maybe in Boston or in San Francisco, maybe, or some of the older places you may have brick too. But this is, of course, the fuel for fire, right? So you have one single ember that comes down and can ignite a whole house just like that. Because we're absolutely, the whole building code is not designed for this type of scenario. And we're going to have more of these in future as we can see the trends going. So it's time that we change our attitudes towards not only global warming, the way we treat nature, the way we care about things, and so on and so on. So there's a lot to think about, and many questions are asked. Just going to carefully take a walk down there. Yes, agreed. Isn't that right? So there's a lot of things that we have to change in the way we do things. But the way houses are built right now, they are fuel for fire. Every single house, your house, my house, anything that's made from wood, they don't, they don't abide by this code that we're supposed to have. I have seen this in Australia when they have brick houses. Of course, in an earthquake zone, you can't have that, right? You can't. Um, Wonder if those blackened trees need to be cut down for safety reasons. That's a great question, Gentleman Ghost. You know what the problem is, of course. The big problem is that we may have a fire underneath here in the roots. That's the big danger, right? We may have a fire underneath, and the heat, the insulation in the ground is so good that the roots may be preserving a fire throughout winter, even when it snows. And that's why they are so dangerous, right? So you can see, let's walk up right to such a tree that is completely burnt out. You see there, it's completely burnt out. It's just charcoal, basically, right? And I suspect that the roots underneath could still, they could still be, uh, there could still be a fire sort of smothering underneath, waiting to be ignited when it gets dry, when the conditions are right. So that's something one has to think about. And that's a very difficult question that you're asking, because roots from trees go long ways. Right, look at this. The picture quality is truly amazing. Yeah, that's just an iPhone I'm using. I'm holding it on a small tripod so that I'm not so shaky, because this is a very shaky experience. Um, yeah, well, the pictures speak for themselves, right? And you see, right there is where the fire stopped. I'm walking down a little bit further and you can see the trees are green. It stopped right after this property. It just stopped, magically stopped. Isn't that amazing? It just stopped right there and preserved all the properties lower down. You see that? Right down there? They are all fine. And there I see a property that was burnt in the same sort of level. You see that? Right over there is a property that seems to have also been burnt. So the fire must have come down really, like as Mark Horner explained, in a finger. It just comes right down and just maybe 5 yards to the left or 5 yards to the right, absolutely nothing. It's astounding and it's creepy. It's an eerie feeling walking along here. Just going to walk back up now. Maybe a water helicopter. Well, they had a lot of water planes. I filmed them from the other side. And that was, I think, just before a very strong wind came up and made everything impossible. So this is about 4 or 5 miles away from our house where this happened, right? It's absolutely shocking. And we were lucky. Yes, isn't it sorry? It's terrible. Wow. Yeah, it is. Gosh, I see a small chipmunk. It's also about wildlife. I see a small chipmunk there. Isn't that funny, eh? Hello, chipmunk. Hey, it disappeared. Wow. Anyway, I'll just switch quickly around. So anyway, my friends, my wildlife friends, thank you for joining me for not a very pleasant broadcast, but I had to do it, I think, because this is part of reality and we have to deal with it. And we have to do something about it, for sure. I'm a little bit out of breath because I walked quite a bit down. But anyway, I'm going to check the osprey nests now. Furchtbar, yeah, that's exactly the right word. I'm going to check the osprey nests and other things and see if what else I can find. I'm going to pay particular attention to wildlife now because hardly anybody else does talk about what happens to wildlife. So